You've heard me mention a lot about the word merit and meriting relationships, specifically in that usage. What do you mean, Roan, about meriting relationships? What if I don't feel I'm deserving? What if I don't feel I'm worthy? You say you should be deserving of the relationship. But what then if I don't feel I'm worthy of the relationship? And what do you mean? I'm not worthy or I'm not deserving? I'm not a deserving person? Can you explain that more a little bit? And so I want to begin with recognizing and helping you appreciate what merit means. Merit, obviously, is you're deserving and you're being worthy. To merit something is to deserve something, to be worthy of something. Something that merits something means that it deserves for that thing to happen, or deserves for that thing to have that thing. So when it comes to the context, or when I put it as meriting a relationship, what I mean, and I'll explain to you what it sounds like, what it feels like, and maybe even what it smells like. I'm particularly big on my olfactory senses. So when I use it in the notion meriting a relationship, what I mean is a relationship that deserves its existence. And it begins with this premise, and you've heard me say it before, that a relationship is not merely boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, husband, wife. A relationship is anything you have, how you interact and interface with any entity. So the relationship you have with your clients and your customers is that there is a very particular one, which is what? They are your clients, and you have client relationships and you have customer relationships. Your relationship with your boss, with your supervisor, with your business owner, or with your business partner, they have a very particular dynamic, and none of them are sexual. And then your relationship with your spouse, your partner, your lover, or your friend, or your best friend could be sexual and is sexual. And so when it comes to meriting a relationship, I don't know if you've heard me talk about this before. If you're intimate with me, you've heard me explain my rule, my friend's rule on relationships. And it goes like this. I have a rule. When I meet anyone, I don't distinguish whether or not they are girlfriend material or friend material. Everyone I meet begins as friends, because I presume that I can't build any relationship with anyone if they can't first become my friend on a personal level. On a professional level, I can create a clientele or customer relationship or a professional relationship without their having to be my friend. But the very basis of being a friend is that I can trust them. So with that basis in mind, I don't distinguish whether someone's friend or lover material. They all begin as friends. And then the relationship from that point forward will merit its existence. It will deserve how we interact and interface will be deserved. What do I mean by that? The relationship that I have with any of my friends, or any of my very intimate and very special friends, are all merited, are all deserved, which means that how it shows up in my life is not coerced, is not forced, is not manufactured, it's organic, and it's deserved. You heard me say before that worthiness, worthyfulness, and deservedness is the central theme of my existence, because I never want something which I don't feel I deserve. To want something which you don't feel you deserve is a basis for self-suffering, also commonly referred to as self-flagellation. If you don't know what self-flagellation is, it comes from the word flogging, self-flogging, which is you take a flog and you flog yourself with it, and you beat yourself with something. And it's typically used in a sexual sense, and it's also used in a religious sense where you flog yourself for your sins. So to want something which you don't feel you deserve sets you up for self-suffering. So what is the counterpart of that? Bree says, all relationships are/should be that way. Nobody has to tolerate abuse and being around someone who no longer makes them feel good. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up, because how relationships show up in society is that they have a contract of exclusivity where they're forced to be exclusive to them. Now, perhaps you say, it's not forced. I signed a contract and I said, hey, I will only love you and you forever and ever. And they go into it, the word is unwittingly. When you unwittingly sign a contract, it's like when you are 10 years old and you sign a contract which only adults should be signing because you don't know what you're getting into. You don't have an understanding of what you're getting into. And so that's why they don't have 10-year-olds sign lifelong contracts. They don't have 10-year-olds sign contracts that say, hey, you're going to owe us $200,000 after this 4-year college degree. They don't have 10-year-olds sign that. Why? It's because 10-year-olds are unwitting. They don't know what they're doing. And so this is also the thing that people go into in an exclusive relationship, where they sign contracts of exclusivity unwittingly. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're getting into. And so this is why I wrote the book, Relationships 101. Go to Amazon.com, search Relationships 101 by Rowan John. So never want something which you don't feel you deserve. The opposite of that is to deserve things that you want. Let's say you want something, so you enhance yourself in a particular way so that you can deserve it. Let's say you want this amazing job. Well, what do you got to do to deserve it? You got to have the skills, you got to have the wherewithal, you got to have the knowledge, you got to have the sales skills, because at the very least, you have to sell yourself to the person who is hiring for that position. Find a mentor who's already done it, and then learn what they learned. And then when you feel you deserve that thing is when you have, I feel I deserve this thing. I have all the skills, I have the wherewithal, I have the knowledge, I have the mentorship. They taught me everything I know. When you don't need to want, let me say this in the correct phrase. When you feel you deserve something, you get it abundantly. You get an abundance of the things you feel you deserve. So what does it sound like for you to deserve a relationship? Let me just end it here. I have 1 minute, 40 seconds to talk about this. What it sounds like is, when in my relationship, I don't have titles other than for all intents and purposes of explaining it, because titles are useful for explaining things. For example, my girlfriend, I explain as my girlfriend to other people who understand what a girlfriend is, what the title girlfriend stands for. But really, girlfriend is just a word. And it's just a word I use to be able to communicate to other people what the dynamic of my relationship is with that person. But truly, the word doesn't define the relationship. What defines the relationship is how we interact and interface with each other. And it merits its existence. In other words, my relationship is there, it exists, because it deserves to exist, because of how we want to interface with that person. In other words, I don't force anybody to be with me. I don't condemn other people for not being with me or for not wanting to be with me. And I set up rules in my relationship so that, hey baby, I only want you to be with me when I know that out of all of your options, because you have options, and because I encourage you to have options, and because I can see with my own two eyes that you do actually have options, and then you choose to be with me. And that's a gratifying feeling that I get, that when you're with me because you want to and like to every single time. So I'll end it there. If you want to know more about relationships and communication skills, go to www.greatrelationshipsyou.com. Share this video. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.